Happy Friday, Blazing Besties. Welcome to Bravo and Blaze with Jenny Blaze. We are covering the weekly Bravo TV lineup, but quick disclaimer before we start. This show is for entertainment purposes only. These are my opinions based on public information. We are here to vent, bond, and share our Blaze thoughts. So be cool. Don't be all like uncool. And don't take anything I say as Bible. I'm not a journalist. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit like, subscribe to the channel at Jenny Blaze, follow at Bravo and Blaze everywhere, leave a 5-star review for the podcast. And if you want the exclusive tea, join patreon.com/Bravo and Blaze. And remember, we are live right now. If you're joining us on Instagram, consider coming over to YouTube where we have our live chat. Hop in there, drop your hot takes and comments, and I'll do my best to read them throughout the show. Today, we're running through the full Bravo TV lineup below deck, the McBee Dynasty, Real Housewives of Miami, Real Housewives of Orange County, and even Real Housewives of London and Project Runway, which are not airing on Bravo TV right now. One is on Hayu, one is on Hulu. I'll talk about how you can watch those in a minute or when we get to that. But that's not all. Stick around because I have a very special announcement for you later in the show. Stay tuned. Okay, I know I've been saying this over and over again for weeks, but I'm going to tell you what to watch. We have 2 interviews, and this might be the last week that I'm forcing you all to go watch these 2 interviews. One is with Susie. Susie is from Official Binge or Cringe, and we did a deep dive on Love Island USA Season 7 and the show in general because she's an expert and I only watched 1 season, but I am disturbed. Why are they spitting milk into each other's mouths? Gross. But I'm reminding you all to catch up because the Love Island USA Season 7 reunion is being aired on Peacock on Monday. So check that out. Ariana Madix and Andy Cohen are co-hosting the reunion. And even though I don't really care about the show, I'm going to watch because I already invested so much time. I need to see the reunion now. I hate myself. And then the other interview is with Dana from the Bravo Investigator. And if you're a Real Housewives of Orange County fan, you might want to go check this out because we both spilled some tea that has to do with the current season. So I suggest you go check it out if you're following everything going down in that hot mess. I really do not like that show, but we're talking about it. Okay, let's get into it. The Bravo TV lineup. First, we have Below Deck, Season 12, Episode 12, Docket Like It's Hot. Technical issues plague the charter, leaving the guests disgruntled and Fraser frantic. Chef Anthony feels taken for granted, and Kyle struggles with his precarious position on the boat. This episode wasn't as good as some of the other episodes, especially after last week. I'm still a little traumatized from last week because a lot happened. Like Kyle was claiming that he hooked up with the primary in the ocean while there were cameras. Like, someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they had underwater cameras too. So how come they didn't see that happen? And why was Kyle telling people whether it was true or not? Both scenarios are so deeply disturbing to me. And then on top of it, right after he does this, he is bored at the table, gets up, walks to the bar, and meets Martine from Boston, who, oh my gosh, she was DTF from the jump. Literally, it took them less than like 7 minutes to start making out. And then they went on the beach, and I think he took off her pants. That's what it looked like from where I was sitting. And then they definitely hooked up in the bathroom, and we know that because Jess took a picture, which is also disgusting and wrong. But like, they did it on the bathroom floor. I feel like when people say they're gonna have sex in a bathroom, like Jax Taylor style, I assume there's not gonna be any laying down. Is this a normal thing for people who have bathroom sex? Do you guys lay down? Like I wouldn't have bathroom sex, I don't think, unless it was like my own bathroom. I don't know, or a hotel, but not a public bathroom. That's just so gnarly. Like, oh God, I feel sick just thinking about it. But not only are they doing this in a public bathroom, I would assume they'd be like standing up, trying not to touch anything. Is it just me? Am I the only one who's thinking like this? Because I'm still like really disturbed. But on top of it, I guess Martine from Boston, her head was underneath the urinal. I was like, oh my God, it was so nasty. But luckily, Kyle has calmed down a little bit. He's just kind of like dodged being around the guests, which, yeah, you should do. But I was expecting some kind of like turn of events, and we didn't get that. He starts drinking again on this episode. Like the way that they shot it, the way that they did post production and edited and added like the sound effects and the slow motion, I thought like for a minute he might do the right thing and like not go down that road, but instead he starts drinking, which is unfortunate because I think something is going on with Kyle. Because who does this? This is like just wild behavior. Very savage. Very savage. As Fraser said. Yeah, I would be pissed if I rented out a charter a yacht, a luxury yacht, and we couldn't leave the dock. I would be pissed too. And I think everyone kind of understood like it was out of everyone's hands, but it still is a bummer. And I know like Chefy was doing his best. I think I don't know, maybe the deckhands could have done more to help the interior. I don't even remember really. But the charter guest was like, this I didn't understand. These charter guests are in the hospitality industry and they went up to captain before the end of the trip and were like, yeah, I think we're not feeling that great about giving a good tip. Like he didn't say in those exact words, but that was pretty much the gist. And first of all, I thought that was so weird. I've never like I've done some work in hospitality, but not like hardcore. Not in the food and bev industry like Craig Conover, but like I can't imagine a situation where I would feel comfortable as a guest going to my main contact of whoever we're like working with and being like, yeah, I don't know about the tip situation. I would I would feel so awkward to do that. And so for this guy to feel comfortable doing that was a little bizarre to me. And I think Captain Carey handled it the right way. He was like, that should not be a reflection on our crew. And I agree. I feel like in this setting, at least for a yacht, I think you need to separate the price for renting out the yacht versus the money you allocate for the service because I don't know, right? And I think Captain Carey said we're talking to the owners about possibly refunding part of the whatever they paid for the yacht. So in that case, I would be like, oh, okay, that makes me feel a lot better actually knowing that I can still give a good tip separate of whatever I paid for the yacht. And actually now I have a little bit more money to give to the crew because of that, hopefully, that refund that they're planning to get, which I think they should, right? Like that whole business of renting out the charter boat is so that you have a boat to go out. And I think if you pay a certain amount and you don't get that, you should definitely get a partial refund at the very least. So for this guest to even mention not tipping the crew was, I think, messed up. But that's just me personally. What do you all think? Just Kelly is here. Hello, beautiful Jenny and gorgeous chatters. What's up, Just Kelly? Just Kelly, would you give less of a tip because your boat didn't go out? I just feel like that should be separate. And same with like you spend a ton of money on this yacht. I think you should have a budget for the service that you're going to spend, or the money. You should have a budget for the money you're going to spend on service. And if they do amazing, then you should give them that tip, right? But if they don't, maybe not give them as much of a tip, even though you paid a ton of money for this yacht. I don't know. What's the yacht etiquette? Should we ask Stephanie Shoje from Real Housewives of Miami? She seems to know everything about etiquette. I just watched a scene from next week's episode of Real Housewives of Miami right before I went live, and Stephanie is really annoying me with her rules and bossing people around. It's getting to be too much. But anyways, what else went down on Below Deck? Anything else? One thing I did notice about Chef Anthony, I feel like he's kind of graduated to full-on manic chefy, kind of like Chef Ben. Remember how Chef Ben would like rage out and then he would get it together and be very lovable the next minute. And one minute he'd be like, I quit. But then the next minute he'd have like the most amazing meal presented. So I noticed that Chef Anthony is having those manic moments. And I think that might be a good sign for his career. I don't know. I'm not a chef. Let's see. Just Kelly said that's not in their control. Shouldn't base tips on that. Yes, I agree. We're on the same page. That's right. And I am so sorry if you guys hear any loud noises in the background, because I can hear somebody doing landscaping right outside my window right now, and it's annoying me. Oh my God. Do you guys hear that? All right, let's move on to my favorite hate watch currently on Bravo. We got the McBee Dynasty Season 2, Episode 8, Panic on the Combine. When out harvesting, Jesse suffers from intense panic attacks as his wedding day draws closer. They're like 1 week out, just mind you, okay? Cole goes ring shopping for Casey. Steven invites a surprise guest to the wedding. This family is so wild to me. I really enjoy watching this hot mess, but this week, I don't think I saw Galena at all, and that just doesn't sit well with me. I'm not okay with that. I need to see Galena every single week on every single episode, and she needs to be scheduled on Watch What Happens Live, and she better be at BravoCon. These are non-negotiables. These are requirements. We demand this from the McBee Dynasty. Anyways, let's go into Jesse. Wait, before we do that, Max is here. Good morning. Am I blurry? I'm kind of blurry. That sucks. Galena is a main cast member. Seriously, why aren't we? This show should be called The Galena Dynasty. I just love Galena so much. Okay, Jesse. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I'm not like following deeply. I'm not doing like deep investigative work on their lives. So I saw something on social media that said that what's her name? Allie, Jesse's fiance, may have been pregnant at this point. And please do not quote me. Like, I don't know if this is true, but if it is, they're saying, like, oh, maybe that's why he's having this like panic attack. And they weren't able to like say that on the show because, that doesn't look good to be having like a shotgun wedding. But also, I mean, I don't care. I don't care personally, but I think in today's society, some people still care. I think they're also messing with garbage cans outside now. I hear like a dump truck. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so I don't know if that's true. And maybe that's why Jesse was having this panic attack. But like, before I heard that information, I'm just watching I'm just watching the show, not knowing anything about where they're at today or what's going on. I did see a picture of them on their wedding day, so I think they did get married. But like, I just started spiraling watching this because I'm like, why do men propose if they don't want to get married? I understand, like, they may feel pressure to, but like, man up. Why are you like, you don't have to marry someone. I think it's psychotic. Oh my gosh. Oh, I do see that. I am blurry on Instagram. I'm sorry. Maybe the replay will be better. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Or maybe there's something wrong with Instagram. I'm not sure. Anyways, going back to the McBees. Cole goes ring shopping. I think Mama McBee is kind of like putting pressure on Cole. So maybe that's why Jesse felt pressure from Christy. I don't know. I just don't like, if you don't feel 100% sure, don't propose. So nuts and psychotic. But Cole, he goes ring shopping. I thought was going to steal Jesse's proposal because Cole set up the chairs by the fire outside, just like Jesse did for his proposal to Allie last season. So I was like, oh my God, Cole, I already don't like Cole. And so for him to also just copy and paste this proposal, that made me so mad. So I'm like, oh God, I hope she says no. Turns out he gave her like a key saying, like, I don't know if he were they living together already? Why did he give her a key? Whatever. Somebody posted on Instagram like a clip or something and of the episode, and I saw Casey commented. She said, I'm ready. She even tagged Cole and said, I'm ready now. I was like, oh God. Oh my gosh. I reposted it in my stories. So I'm assuming they had their baby, and I don't know. They're not engaged now, I guess, or maybe they did get engaged and she's saying, I'm ready now because they're already engaged. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should they get married? They have a baby together, but I don't know if that's a reason to get married. Anyways, surprise, surprise, Steven Jr. Like, I thought we were done. I actually believed Steve Jr. and Kala were done, but no. Steve Jr. is such a pouty, whiny little bee. He winds up going back to Kala. And I think that, yes, their relationship is toxic, and I don't think that Kala is totally innocent, but the way Steve Jr. thinks that he is like so innocent and everything is really annoying to me. Like, why are you inviting her to the wedding now? I don't agree with that. And I'm team Kala. Like, I feel kind of happy for, like, in a way, because she does seem like she wants to be part of the family and everything, but to me, he sucks. Sorry. Max said, Allie and Jesse have been together for a long time. Yeah, 12 years. I guess he felt like he better. I don't I mean, yeah, make some moves. I don't know. I'm not a relationship expert. I have no idea what's going on in this world. Okay, let's move on to Real Housewives of Miami season. Wait, that's not season 2. What season is it? Like season 7? Episode 12, Uncivil in Seville. Is it episode 12? Do I have this wrong? Oh my God, now I have to go check because it's going to bother me. What season is this? This is season 7, episode 12. Oh my God, we're on episode 12 already? Wild. Okay. Lisa scrambles to find a notary as Larsa fumes over Joni's text. Marisol and Julia are forced to deliver an ultimatum to Lisa about the upcoming Marbella trip. Dinner turns ratchet when Adriana and Kiki get into an explosive argument. Before this episode even aired, Todd Napola, and I think he did this last week actually, but I didn't watch it. His 10-minute video, I didn't watch it until after our last live stream. Essentially, he wants to have his own reality reckoning against the producers of Real Housewives of Miami, which I think is that a different type of strategy in this reality reckoning theme that we keep seeing amongst reality, quote unquote, reality stars. Because we know like Britt Eady is trying to sue Bravo for $20 million. Hers, I feel like if this is Judge Jenny, where's my gavel? Who's my fan? All right, court is in session. That one, Britt Eady, I would throw that one out. I'd actually probably rip it right there in my chambers or up on the podium, whatever's more camp. That's what I'd do. And then the thing with Todd, like I think I might agree with Todd on some of the things he said because a lot of my curiosity and watching these shows is what is really going on behind the scenes. Because and I did watch the Biggest Loser docuseries, which did show behind the scenes of like production and their goals and stuff like that. And that's the kind of stuff I like to know about because I think it does matter when we're looking at a show holistically versus like each episode individually. Like I think it does matter what productions goals are and what role they play in manipulating the storylines, quote unquote storylines, which really are messing with these people's lives. Let's not forget, these are real people. And the goal, I think, of the networks and production studios, their goal is to get as many people to watch as possible. And what draws more views and clicks, which by the way, last night I watched a screening of American Sweatshop with, I think her name is Lily Reinhart. Is that her name? It was good, but also it reminded me that with human nature, people are just drawn to very provocative things, whether it's like violent or, sexual or anything like that. And like, it's disturbing to know that, but that's a fact. That's nature, human nature. And so, and in this movie, like her job is to review the things that go up for, possible deletion or platform. So she has to watch all the graphic videos. And they're saying like, yeah, the ones where it's really violent, those get the most views. And so if you're thinking about, if you're a network or a production studio and your goal is to get the most views and you're dealing with real people in their lives, I think there's got to be some kind of line that gets drawn where it's morally acceptable and sometimes it's morally unacceptable. And I don't know if the people who are running the show in the background, if they have any wherewithal to think about where the line is. And that's why I don't blame some of these people. Like, I think going on a reality show and putting your livelihood and your image in someone else's hands for the rest of time is kind of too much for me. Like, I don't think you have to pay. Oh, you'd have to pay a lot. I don't think it's worth it. I'd rather just put my own content out. And I know there's a difference. Obviously, like they have a platform, so it's like automatic boost in your visibility in mainstream, like in the mainstream public eye. But at what cost? And then that's why I feel bad for a lot of these reality stars because they're being manipulated and their lives are being exploited and it's for our entertainment. And I realize that like we're part of the problem, but for me, like I really don't want to watch the vile things like Julia throwing a glass of water on Gertie. I don't like that. I don't think that we should put stuff like that on TV. I think it like glorifies it in a way because don't forget, we're like 2 decades into this franchise of shows and reality TV. People who are going on these shows now have been growing up watching all these shows. So you have like a new breed of reality TV star. And I feel like it can be somewhat dangerous. And there is a responsibility, I think, from production and the networks to have some values and stick up for them and just I say this all the time, have like some guidelines on what is acceptable and what's not. For me, if I was in charge, anything that breaks the law is completely unacceptable in my opinion. But then who knows? Then it could get into politics because then you have, oh well, I don't agree with that law. And well, I do agree with that law. It's just like it's a lot. Reality TV is too complicated. And they're trying to have a controlled environment where it's impossible to control this environment. So it's messy. But also because of that, I think it's dangerous for the people who are involved and the people who are on TV. I don't know if Todd is a good guy or not, but I think he may have a case from what I heard. I mean, the way, like the angle that he was looking at it, saying like production promised me this. I've been keeping my mouth shut because they said this would play out in some way, or, I'm just like paraphrasing. Um, yeah, I think that's kind of messed up. But maybe he signed something that no one really talks about. Maybe there's a clause in there that says on some contract that it doesn't matter if if they lie to you or not, which I hope is not the case because that's gross. Max said, I hope Alexia would talk about this. Yes. This trip was so unhinged and entertained at the same time. It was better than the OC trip. Ugh, I hate the OC trip. Of course, Gina brings them to New Orleans. Like, it's just not for me. Let's see. Julian Michaels is suing Netflix and Bob Harper because Julian Michaels didn't want to be in that documentary and Bob Harper was. I don't know. It's kind of bizarre to see because I loved The Biggest Loser. I like even at one point, I remember being like, should I gain weight so I can go on The Biggest Loser, which is like completely ridiculous, obviously. But I totally bought into that show, like how it was empowering at first. And you could see the evolution of the show, how everything they try to like outdo themselves every season and get like bigger people and show bigger weight loss. And it's like, I do remember it going like downhill because of that. But it was a huge franchise. I wonder how much it was what the valuation of that whole franchise is. Anyways, okay, going back to Miami. Lisa scrambles to find a notary. Yeah, I thought this was so crazy that Larsa starts making the whole dinner about herself because Lisa's like, "Oh, I got to get a notary in the next hour." Instead of Larsa being empathetic at all in any way, she just like loses it and it's like, "I'm sick of this," and gets up, acts like no one did anything to her. This has nothing to do with her, but she somehow turns it into, "Oh my god, Jody's been texting me nonstop and how dare he?" And this is what I love to hate about Larsa that's so entertaining to me because she's so ridiculous that it's funny to me. And I would hate to be like on the other end of it, being in Lisa's shoes because it's so ridiculous. And they were friends at one point, but like I wouldn't even get to that point with Larsa to give her any ammunition to behave in that way towards me because she will take anything and twist it. And it's just so ridiculous that you can't even take her seriously. Like Lisa reads the text between Jody and Larsa. They seem completely reasonable. Even the things that Larsa was reading seem completely reasonable. I don't know why Larsa is acting like Jody just beat her over the head or something. Like, what? So bizarre. The whole thing with Marisol and Julia telling Lisa to get rid of her phone and like that the note taking is weird. That is also crazy to me because I'm gonna, nobody's gonna tell me what to do with my phone ever. And if you have nothing to hide, then you have no problem with me taking notes. Like I'm just trying to keep track of the truth because later on, the people around me are trying to twist things like Larsa does. And so I don't blame Lisa for taking notes. Sometimes you have to do that when you're being like gaslit and you have people who are like rewriting the narrative. It's just, ugh, it's called crazy making and it's not cool. They have a dinner. I was kind of shocked at Adriana and Kiki fighting like this. I think Adriana in her mind thinks that it's good to continue feuds long past their expiration for TV because Adriana and Kiki were like getting into it and it died down. But then Adriana started it up again, which is like kind of on brand for her, right? So that wasn't surprising to me, but I think it definitely took a turn when Adriana called Kiki Ratchet. And I was like, oh my God. And I don't want to make excuses for Adriana because I was obviously out of line. But in my head, I was like, I don't think Adriana knows what she's saying. Like, I think about how many languages that Adriana speaks, and I'm like, I don't think she knows what she's saying. And I think she said this out of like ignorance. And turns out I think on Bravo Snark side, Adriana did apologize for saying that to Kiki, and she said she meant wretched, which I don't know if that's the case because, yeah, I didn't think ratchet like even fit the context of the moment. So that's why for me, before I even saw Adriana give her apology, I was like, I don't think she knows what she's doing. And maybe that's because my mom is Korean, like Korean is her first language. So she messes up a lot. I can't even say like some of the things my mom has said. So I don't know. I don't want to like excuse Adriana's behavior though. Um Also, I guess Kiki, I haven't been following very closely, but Kiki has been doing interviews and I didn't see the interview. I didn't hear it. I don't know what was said, but I did see the backlash on social media and it sounds like everyone is really mad at Kiki. And she keeps like doubling down on not defending Gertie, I guess. So, and people are speculating because she's doing all these rounds of interviews after the reunion, they're speculating that she didn't have a good reunion because they just filmed that like what, a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Max said boss baby lost her mind. Oh my god, the way Stephanie casually is like, Larsa, do you want me to uninvite Lisa? Like, excuse me? That was a red flag already. But then Stephanie continues on this whole thing where she's like, she has a meltdown during dinner. Is like, oh, I can't do this. I gotta leave. I gotta leave. And she's crying out, which to me felt like way, way too much. She felt like she was it just felt like she was doing way, way, way too much. Wait, I just realized I skipped OC because they switched their schedule. Sorry, my ADHD brain is all over the place. But yeah, Stephanie then goes on to have her own little, it felt very Mean Girl to me. Like, at least Stephanie was trying to be Regina George in that moment. She's like, let me get my plastics. We're going to write out the seating arrangement. She even had somebody on her private plane who was going to be like isolated on the plane. Like, what? Stephanie, you are being way over the top and very controlling to the point where I am so with Marisol not wanting to even go, because the way that Stephanie is just so flippant and like okay with saying, oh, I'll just kick them off the plane. Like, I don't feel, that doesn't make me feel safe as a guest of Stephanie's if she's like, oh yeah, we'll just kick them off the plane. She didn't just say this once. It's not just kicking them off, it's also like controlling exactly where they are and if they're isolated or who they're sitting next to. Like, grow the fuck up. This is ridiculous. But I am here for petty arguments like that. So I don't know. Oh my God, they're doing landscaping right outside my window again. Somebody kill me, please. Max said, this is the reason the Kardashians don't want to deal with Larsa. Yeah, I totally forgot about this, but after the Kardashian Pippen fallout, I think Larsa continued to be friends with Kanye after Kim and him split up. So this is like so ridiculous if that's the case, because she's mad at Lisa for following Marcus. Come on. And I'm so team Lisa. If somebody's telling me what to do, I definitely would not do it. I'd be like, no, I'm definitely not going to do what you say. Oh my gosh, I'm a brat too. Just Kelly said, it's really remarkable that Larsa is practically a senior citizen, but behaves like an immature teenager. Oh my gosh. Max, she's one of the elders. How old is Larsa? Max said, hilarious Stephanie in her private plane seating. The way that she keeps talking about jetiquette is so against jetiquette, in my opinion. Like, you don't talk about jetiquette this way, at least. Like, it's too much. Maybe she should write a book about it. Put it out once and just tell people to refer to your jetiquette book, because it's obnoxious. I'm very over it. What else? Anything else on Miami? I think we're going to move on to this next shit show, which is The Real Housewives of Orange County, season 19, episode 7. The truth will not set you free. I hate this show so much. I really don't like watching it, but I'm here. The ladies wake up in New Orleans after Tamara's dramatic departure. Let's not forget Bali. Shannon finds herself in murky waters when she shows up late to a gator boat tour. Katie's explanation of contacting an influencer leaves even her closest allies to question her stories. When the group returns to Orange County, Emily and Shane hit an emotional wall in navigating their son's medical condition. I don't mean to laugh. Heather confronts Tamara after being ghosted, leading to cracks in their friendship. I don't know what's going on in this show, because One, I can't even take them seriously when day one they start saying, "Oh, so and so talked to a blogger, blah blah blah, whatever." Like, Tamra, you host a podcast where you talk about these shows. Come on now, like, don't do this to me. Do not do this to me. And the word blogger is so outdated. They did say podcaster last night, which I thought was interesting. We finally got a little turn of events. They also did say journalist. They're like, no, like an actual reputable journalist, which is like, okay, who defines that? Gina? I don't think so. Ugh, I'm just like, why are we still on this trip? I hate this trip. But the gator boat thing, Gina and Shannon both out crazying each other. Just ugh. None of this was fun to watch, in my opinion. I don't care if Katie contacted an influencer. Is it an influencer or a blogger now? Because those are different things. So annoying. But why would also this I am seeing the shift in the dynamics between Katie and Jen, and it's not looking good. And this is making me really sad because I really loved Jen Pedranti last season, but I don't know what's going on with her. She's not coming off that great this season. And the only reason I was laughing when I read the part about Emily and Shane hitting an emotional wall is my kid, my teenager, she doesn't watch this show. She's maybe seen like a couple things here and there. She knows a little bit from watching, like secondhand from me watching, but she walked by right when Emily was like crying and had her hands on her head. And she just goes, I can't stand that lady. And just kept walking. I was like, oh my God. Me neither. I don't know what to say about Emily. Anyways, what else is going on? Tamra after Heather confronts Tamra after being ghosted. Like I said, I don't know what's going on. They are talking about bloggers all the time. And now not only are they talking about bloggers, but they're talking about multiple bloggers. So I'm very confused. And then also on social media outside of the show, we have other creators coming out and saying other things about what some of the cast had said to them. I don't know what's true or not anymore. I don't know. I'm very confused. And I blame Alex Baskin because I don't think anyone really knows what's going on. This is not fun to watch. Max said, damn, Alex, this whole blogger situation, enough. Half of them are bloggers. Oh, yeah. Also, Tamra, and I'm not like hating on Tamra. I just think that since, I mean, for 2 seasons now, I kind of just ignore her because I'm like, this is, she's like a evolved housewife. She's no longer a housewife. And I don't think she can be a housewife anymore because she has a podcast. And like, I don't think you can be both. You can't be a housewife and a podcaster or blogger. Right? That's the conflict of interest. And it does remind me of Alex Baskin, the executive producer of all these shows, not all of them, but a lot of the ones that we're watching. He recently, I don't know how recent, maybe like last year or two, he recently added podcast host of Bravo's Hot Mic podcast to his resume. And immediately I'm so perplexed because I'm like, this is a conflict of interest. How can you be the executive producer of a show and then have your employees, your cast sitting in front of you while you interview them? That seems like a hostage situation to me. But then also say, oh, and production was not aware of this, right? Don't play in my face. That's all I ask. And we're being played straight to our faces. I've had enough. Let's see. Max said Shannon and Tamra should have not went on that trip. I don't know. I just like don't even care about this show. I don't even know what's happening. My brain like checks out. like forcing myself. It's like some kind of torture, medieval torture. Keep my eyes open. Max said maybe they are talking about Alex. Who? Oh, Alex the blogger. Yeah, is Alex Baskin a blogger now? Jesus Christ. I'm so sick of this. Okay, let's move on. So that is our full Bravo TV lineup, but we have 2 days, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, where we have no new shows, and I just think that's unfair. And I feel like we're being punished. So thanks to Gibson Johns, he gave instructions on how to watch shows on Hayu. So Hayu is a completely different network. It's international. It is not affiliated with Bravo at all. And they have their own Real Housewives of London franchise new series that they just premiered on Hayu. And if you're in the US, you cannot go to hayu.com. There's like a firewall, whatever, because of, I don't know why actually. I wish that we could get Hayu. But Gibson gave the instructions on how to go watch that. You have to get some kind of VPN. He recommended ExpressVPN. And then when you have that downloaded and set up, you can change your current location in this VPN to say that you're in the UK or whatever. And then once your VPN is indicating that you are not in the US, then you can go to hayu.com and sign up for a subscription if you want. But that costs money. So some people don't like to do that. I don't mind. Like, this is what I do. So that's fine for me. But I did hear you could get it. I don't know. There's other like pirating type. I shouldn't even say these things because I might get in trouble. But I know there's like other places you can get it, I guess. I don't know the way to do that. I just do it through VPN and my Hayu subscription now. But let me talk about it real quick. So we had our season 1, episode 1 premiere. Welcome to London. Hope you brought armor. The episode description is a glamorous cocktail party turns icy as buried feuds bubble to the surface. Okay, so let me talk about the women on this show. We have Julia Angus, who was on Ladies of London, which is a Bravo series from years ago. She claims she's like an influencer or something. She's in fashion. She's American. So if you want to get to know her, check out Ladies of London. She's not a main housewife on this franchise, but she's like a friend of or something. Then you have Amanda Caroline, who's divorced, has 2 kids. She is like a boss lady, former model. She's the type of woman to fix another woman's crown. She's friends with Meredith Marks, DJ Meredith Marks, Dorinda Medley, and Caroline Stanberry. Dorinda and Caroline we see in future episodes. So that's something to look forward to. We then have Karen. Karen is another housewife. She was born in Jamaica. She's in the fashion industry. She is married to an amazing man, according to her. Who knows when they say that might mean otherwise. We'll have to see. I don't know. She seems lovely though. I don't know why I just started saying that. My note says good husband, and then I gave myself a red flag for putting that down. But in the moment when I wrote that down, he did seem like a good husband. They have 3 children, and she seems fun. I already like her. Juliet Mayhew. She's a wife, a mother. She's from Australia. She's an Aussie. She's the one who allegedly borrows all her clothes and lives in Chelsea. Chelsea's like the super posh area, I guess. She's Juliet Mayhew is friends with Juliet Angus, Caroline Stanberry, Tinsley Mortimer, and Dorit Kemsley. I don't know if Tinsley or Dorit are going to be on future episodes, but it could happen in future seasons. Who knows? I would love that crossover. Then you have Panthea. She's Arabian but feels more British. She is a real housewife in the sense that she's that's her main job as being a housewife. And does she have children? I don't know if she has children. Then we have Nessie, who used to be in finance. Now she's like a cake maker, like a fancy cake maker. She's a mother of 3, and she makes me feel exhausted watching her. She is a type of woman who does it all, but at the same time, I'm like, why are you doing so much? Like, it makes me feel tired watching her. She just seems like she has a lot going on, but she's also like in really good shape. So I feel like she never rests. She probably never eats a cookie, even though she makes cakes. I don't know, but she looks like an overachiever, and that stresses me out as a recovering type A. Anyways, I love watching international series because things that might not stand out to someone who lives in London definitely stand out to me. Like, for example, there was a scene, I don't even know who was on these horses, but there was a scene of 2 of the women on horses, on horseback, riding their horses in the park. And I don't know this park, but it looks like the equivalent of Central Park in New York City. And I know there's horses that go around in New York City, and like cops will be on horses sometimes, but I don't think I've ever seen just like a normie, like a citizen, just like bring their horse to the park and like go for a little walk with their park. Like, I feel like they would get arrested or something. And so I was like, is that normal? Is that like a thing? Can people just, or is it like only something that rich people can do? Like, are those their horses? Are these, did these horses belong to the park? What is happening? I want to go ride a horse in this park in London. Is that normal? I don't know why that stuck on me, but I'm excited for this. I wish they dropped 3 episodes because I went through all the VPN and getting a Hayu subscription, and then I was like, I could have waited because there's only 1 episode, but I guess I'll be watching every week. And also when you sign up, it was like opening a whole new world, and I love it because there are multiple international franchises that you can watch. There's like Amsterdam, Melbourne or Melbourne, I don't know how to say it. I think that's in Australia. They also have Cape Town, I think. I don't know. I'm here for it. I need to see Housewives outside of the US. Maybe that's like my new thing. I don't know. I'm going to try to binge as many of them as I can when I get a chance. I don't know if I ever will, but I'll do my best. Okay, next up is Project Runway. Wait, before I move on, Max said, it's weird how we hear about this housewife show, but not much on the other housewife international shows. I do see a lot of people on Twitter talk about or like tweeting about international housewives. So I might go scan Twitter and see what other people say after I watch, though, because I don't want to be influenced. Okay, Project Runway has moved to Hulu. I don't know all of the background on the why of this. I don't know why they did this, but I love the original Project Runway, and I've been a long time fan, so I'm watching on Hulu now. And this time around, I'm watching with all of my kids, even my youngest, who is 5, because she's kind of like a fashionista, and she's very into her entire look, like the accessories and matching things, but not like too matchy. And like she puts in a lot of thought for a 5-year-old, in my opinion. So it's been really fun to watch that. The first 5 episodes are out now. Watched the first 4. I didn't watch the latest, but the latest has Jenna Lyons from Real Housewives of New York as a guest judge. So I'm gonna probably watch that today. But I love this show. I think it's fun, it's creative. I love even when the outfits turn out bad, I still think there's like learning lessons for every challenge and every runway. So I love it. It's a totally different vibe from Housewives. So, I mean, I wish that it was still on Bravo, but whatever. I still love it. Okay, Max said Project Runway was originally on Bravo, then on Lifetime, back to Bravo, and now on Hulu. Yes. And then didn't they also have a like Tim Gunn and Heidi left the Project Runway original and did their own? And then Christian Siriano wound up joining them, I think. And then I don't know. They probably could do a documentary on the behind the scenes of Project Runway. I would watch for sure. Okay, now before I go, I have one more thing. I've been working on something behind the scenes, something totally different from Bravo and Blaze. It's probably the most unhinged project I've ever done. So that's saying a lot. It is a scripted satirical audio series inspired by true events in the fandom. And it's called special reveal Fandom Bitch. All the things I couldn't really speak freely about here, let's just say they may show up in Fandom Bitch. Fictionally, of course. The first 2 episodes are going to drop next week. I'll share all the details here, but if you want the early access and the bonus tea, Patreon is where you can go get it. Go to patreon.com/Bravo and Blaze and buckle up. Yikes, I'm a little bit nervous, but not really. I think it's been a long time coming. All right, that is our show for today. Before you head out, make sure you're subscribed on YouTube at Jenny Blaze and following at Bravo and Blaze everywhere on social media. If you're listening on the podcast, please leave a 5-star review. And for Fandom Bitch and Extra Tea, go sign up at patreon.com/Bravo and Blaze. All right, everyone. Until next time, stay lit. Mwah.